Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. Well, today I'm very excited to share with you my thoughts on a recent release from the Criterion Collection. This title came out just a few days ago. I was very happy to get this a day early on my doorstep. And it's a title that I have been looking forward to ever since it was announced back in February that Criterion was releasing this title at the end of May, and it is Billy Wilder's 1944 film Double Indemnity. This stars Fred MacMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, and Edward G. Robinson in an absolute masterpiece of film noir from 1944. It comes in at spine number 1126 from the Criterion Collection, and it is a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray Combo pack. And I am very, very excited to have this title in my hands, and I am so happy to have a chance to share with you my thoughts on this movie, on the picture quality of this 4K Ultra HD disc, the supplements, and whether or not I recommend that you buy this title. Now, of course, the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale for Criterion is coming up very soon, here in the next month now, as of the time that I'm recording this video. We are very quickly approaching the July Barnes & Noble sale, and you're probably thinking about what are some titles to pick up as part of this upcoming sale. This just might be one of them. So, Double Indemnity on 4K Ultra HD. What can I say? I mean, I am super stoked that this has finally been released from the Criterion Collection. So I just want to talk for a minute about this movie. This is a film directed by Billy Wilder. Of course, Billy Wilder is a fantastic director. He was the director of The Apartment, the director of Some Like It Hot, director of so many amazing films. He started his career off as a writer and a screenwriter, then became a director, and this is one of his early directorial efforts. This is a film that's based off of the novel from James Cain, so it's based on the novel from James Cain here. And of course, Raymond Chandler and Billy Wilder took that novel and they adapted it to the movie. They wrote the screenplay and the script for this amazing film. And the screenplay and the script is really one of the best parts of this movie. This is really what makes the movie go, because the dialogue of this film is absolute top notch. This is an amazing, amazing film. It's basically Fred MacMurray. He's an insurance agent for Pacific Insurance Company, and he's a great insurance agent, but he gets seduced by this woman named Barbara Stanwyck. So Fred MacMurray's character, Walter Neff, gets seduced by Phyllis Dietrichson, played by Barbara Stanwyck. She's a woman who is sick of her rich husband. She wants to get rid of her husband, so she seduces and beguiles Fred MacMurray's character to write an insurance policy out on her husband so she can plot to get her husband killed. And from there, the plot goes into some just absolutely phenomenal directions that you just have to watch unfold before your eyes. It's an example of masterful storytelling. Edward G. Robinson plays the insurance claims person or manager who works in the same company as Pacific. They work together, and Edward G. Robinson's character, Barton Keyes, he is an insurance claims manager, as I said. And so what his job is to basically investigate insurance claims to make sure that they're not fraudulent, because if they're fraudulent, he's going to reject the claim. So he's on the case to determine, is this insurance claim legitimate or not? And that's a big part of the story, a big part of the cat and mouse narrative that is so brilliantly written in this film, Double Indemnity. This is a great story. The dialogue is killer. Fred MacMurray's lines in this film are just so on point. He is brilliant. Barbara Stanwyck as the icy cold wife, Phyllis Dietrichson, is brilliant. And Edward G. Robinson, his performance is just a knockout. So the performances in this movie are what make this movie great, in addition to the writing from Billy Wilder and Raymond Chandler, based on a great book by James Cain. So this is just one of the great movies of film noir. It's a movie from 1944, so it's very early in the film noir movement, and it's largely considered the granddaddy of film noir. So I simply cannot recommend this film enough as a noir classic. And of course, there's some other film noirs from the same period that you might want to look at or look into, like Laura. This is a film starring Gene Tierney and Dana Andrews. Really, really nice film that you might want to consider. From 1944, it also has Vincent Price in it. Of course, Gene Tierney and Vincent Price also appear in this Criterion Collection film called Leave Her to Heaven from 1945, which is great. I covered this in the Backlog Treasures recently. And then, of course, James Cain, who wrote Double Indemnity, also wrote The Postman Always Rings Twice. This is a really, really nice film starring Lana Turner and John Garfield. So those are some other film noir classics that came out in the 1940s along with Double Indemnity. But Double Indemnity is probably the best of those films. This is a tremendous film. Now, this film for me is an upgrade over the 70th anniversary Blu-ray from Universal that came out back in 2014. And from a picture quality standpoint, I can tell you that this 4K Ultra HD, based on this new 4K restoration, and which is also on the new Blu-ray of this edition here, is just beautiful. I mean, this is a beautiful 4K Ultra HD image. It looks absolutely great in terms of the black levels, the detail, the grayscale, the image stability. Everything just looks great. I mean, this is a beautiful 4K Ultra HD image, and that Dolby Vision HDR, I think, also does a really nice job with this black and white film. It just presents a very nice black and white presentation in 4K of a classic film. Now, I must say that I was probably a little bit more impressed with the black and white films and that Alfred Hitchcock Classics Collection Volume 2, like Saboteur and Shadow of a Doubt. Was a little bit more impressed with those, how those black and white films looked in 4K than this Double Indemnity. But this Double Indemnity on 4K still looks great. Now, how does it compare to the Blu-ray from 2014? Is it a nice upgrade over this Blu-ray? I would say that it is a step up in quality, a slight step up in quality. This Blu-ray from 2014 was absolutely excellent. And so if you're playing this on a 4K Ultra HD player, on a nice 4K TV with good upscaling, you're gonna get a really nice picture from this Blu-ray. So this new 4K, while it is a little bit of a step up, mainly in image stability and density fluctuations, I think. So there are some density fluctuations that you'll see on this older Blu-ray that you don't see on this new restoration on this 4K Ultra HD disc and the new Blu-ray that comes with it. So the image overall is a little bit more stable. The detail level of the 4K is just a little bit of a step up. You won't notice it and it won't be readily apparent, especially if you're sitting 6 feet from the screen. But if you get closer to the screen, you can see that there is a little bit of a step up based on just sheer detail going from Blu-ray 1080p to 4K Ultra HD. So overall, you do get a better picture on this new 4K Ultra HD and this new restoration that's also on this Blu-ray. It's a little bit of a step up in quality over this older Blu-ray, but this Blu-ray from Universal is fantastic. So you're basically comparing it to what is already a great Blu-ray disc. Now, in terms of the audio, of course, you get an uncompressed monaural soundtrack, and it's perfectly fine, especially with that great dialogue. You hear everything really, really well. But I think probably the biggest reason why this release from Criterion is worth it to me is the special features. So if you look on the back of this disc here, hopefully this is focusing well. I hope it is. But this edition from Criterion, in addition to the film being a knockout, in addition to it looking fantastic on 4K Ultra HD with this great restoration, there are some great special features on here that you'll want to keep in mind. The first being, of course, an audio commentary. They carried over the audio commentary from critic Richard Schickel. So that's a great commentary from Richard Schickel that also appears on this Universal edition as well. You also get some great interviews on here from film scholar Noah Eisenberg, as well as a conversation between film historians Eddie Muller and Imogen Sarah Smith. So between those two interviews, you learn a lot about Billy Wilder and his background, and a lot about film noir and Double Indemnity's place in the history of film noir. So definitely listen to both of those interviews. They are very, very entertaining, very engaging, and you'll learn a lot about this film and a lot about Billy Wilder. So highly, highly recommended. And you learn a little bit also about Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck and their roles in this film too. So those are great features in addition to the commentary. But then on this second disc, so if you open up this edition, you'll see that the 4K Ultra HD goes on in here. Of course, I have it up here right now. but you get 2 Blu-ray discs. And of course, the first Blu-ray includes the feature film and the commentary and some of the features. But this second Blu-ray disc includes a great set of documentaries, 3 one-hour documentaries on Billy Wilder. And they're basically, Billy, How Did You Do It? A 1992 film from Volker Schlondorf and Gisela Grenschau, featuring interviews with director Billy Wilder. So Billy Wilder appears in this 3-hour series. Definitely well worth it. You learn a lot about the director Billy Wilder, so highly recommended. And then you also get Shadows of Suspense, which is a 2006 documentary. So the features, excuse me while I pick up the insert. This is the insert, by the way. Very, very nice. And of course, the insert includes this wonderful essay, The Black Heart of Double Indemnity, written by Angelica Fade Bastine, which is a great, great essay. So highly recommended. You also get information about the restoration in here as well, and the standard information that Criterion includes in their releases. So highly, highly recommended. But overall, this is a great addition from the Criterion Collection of Double Indemnity on 4K Ultra HD. I simply cannot say enough great things about this release, and I highly recommend it. It's a great film, it looks great on 4K Ultra HD, and just has some tremendous special features. And I'm definitely gonna keep this edition from Universal, and together they make a great set of a complete documentary, so to speak, of this incredible film. But let me know in the comments below if you are picking up this edition. Let me know if you plan to pick this up as part of the upcoming Barnes & Noble sale. And let me know what your favorite films are from director Billy Wilder. Let me know that in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.